Welcome to the official audiobook of The Subconscious Mind and Creative Breakthroughs. I'm so glad you're here. Let's embark on a journey of discovery, creativity, and growth together. I hope you find inspiration and insight along the way. Enjoy the experience. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and don't forget to turn on the notification button so you never miss out on our latest updates. Chapter 1, Beneath the Surface, Unlocking the Power of the Subconscious. Every great creative breakthrough throughout history shares a common thread, a moment of sudden inspiration that seems to arise out of nowhere. Albert Einstein once said, "The intellect has little to do on the road to discovery. There comes a leap in consciousness, call it intuition or what you will." What he was describing is something that artists, inventors, writers, and scientists have experienced for centuries, a spark, an insight, an idea that doesn't come from logical deduction or deliberate thought. Instead, it bubbles up from beneath the surface of awareness. This elusive force is the subconscious mind. Though often overshadowed by the conscious mind, the subconscious is the wellspring of our creativity, intuition, and even genius. In this chapter, we will explore what the subconscious mind is, how it functions differently from the conscious mind, and why it is so critical to the creative process. We will also look at how some of history's most brilliant figures tapped into this hidden reservoir to produce work that changed the world. Understanding the two minds. To truly appreciate the power of the subconscious, it is helpful to distinguish it from its more visible counterpart, the conscious mind. The conscious mind is analytical, logical, and deliberate. It is responsible for decision-making, problem-solving, and everyday awareness. It's the voice in your head that helps you balance your checkbook, write emails, and plan your day. The subconscious mind, on the other hand, is vast, mysterious, and incredibly powerful. It stores memories, processes emotions, and governs behaviors without our conscious awareness. It is the reason we can ride a bike without thinking about every movement or find ourselves humming a song we heard days ago. More importantly, it is the domain of dreams, symbols, and spontaneous insights. The subconscious can process information millions of times faster than the conscious mind. While the conscious mind can handle only a few pieces of information at once, the subconscious is like a supercomputer, processing thousands of sensory inputs simultaneously and storing them in intricate neural networks. This vast capacity makes it the ideal birthplace for creativity. A brief history of the subconscious. The idea of a hidden mind beneath our conscious awareness is not new. Ancient civilizations like the Egyptians and Greeks believed in a dual nature of the soul or psyche. However, it wasn't until the 19th and early 20th centuries that the concept of the subconscious began to take a more scientific form. Sigmund Freud was among the first to systematically explore the subconscious. He theorized that much of our behavior is driven by unconscious desires, fears, and memories. Though some of Freud's ideas have fallen out of favor, his assertion that we are largely unaware of what drives us remains widely accepted. Carl Jung expanded on Freud's work by introducing the concept of the collective unconscious, a repository of shared human experiences and archetypes. Jung also emphasized the role of dreams and symbols in revealing subconscious truths. His work laid the foundation for understanding how the subconscious fuels not just neuroses but also creative insight. In more recent years, neuroscience has begun to catch up with what mystics and psychologists have known for centuries. Brain imaging technologies reveal that creative insights often occur in regions associated with the default mode network, DMN, a system activated when the brain is at rest, daydreaming, or engaged in self-reflection, all subconscious activities. Creativity from the shadows. History is rich with examples of people who made revolutionary discoveries thanks to their subconscious minds. One of the most famous is the story of Dmitry Mendeleev, the Russian chemist who created the periodic table. Mendeleev struggled to organize the chemical elements logically until one night he fell asleep at his desk. In a dream, he saw the elements arranged in rows and columns, revealing patterns of properties and atomic weights. When he awoke, he quickly wrote down what he had seen, and the modern periodic table was born. Similarly, the renowned inventor Thomas Edison believed deeply in the power of the subconscious. He often took short naps while holding metal balls in his hands. When he drifted into sleep, the balls would fall and wake him, capturing the moment between consciousness and unconsciousness. He claimed that some of his best ideas came during these transitions. Salvador Dali, the surrealist painter, used a similar technique he called slumber with a key. He would nap in a chair while holding a key over a plate. As he began to fall asleep, the key would drop and wake him, allowing him to seize the vivid, dreamlike imagery his subconscious had conjured. These stories are more than just fascinating anecdotes. They reveal a profound truth: the subconscious mind is not just a passive storehouse of memories. It is an active, creative force that can make connections, solve problems, and generate new ideas without our conscious involvement. The science of subconscious creativity. Modern cognitive science supports these historical accounts. Studies show that the brain continues working on problems even when we are not consciously thinking about them. This is known as the incubation effect. For example, in one study, participants were asked to solve complex puzzles. One group worked straight through the problems, while another took a break to do unrelated tasks. The second group performed significantly better. Why? During the break, their subconscious minds continued to process the problems without the interference of conscious effort. Brainwave research also sheds light on how creativity works. Alpha and theta brain waves, which are more prominent in relaxed, meditative, or sleepy states, are associated with increased creative thinking. These are the brain states we enter during activities like daydreaming, walking, or listening to music. In other words, when we quiet the conscious mind, the subconscious has room to speak. Accessing your subconscious. You don't need to be a genius or a mystic to tap into the power of your subconscious. There are practical, everyday techniques that anyone can use to invite creative insights from below the surface. 1. Mindfulness and meditation. Quieting the conscious mind through meditation allows subconscious thoughts and images to emerge. 2. Journaling. Freewriting or stream of consciousness journaling bypasses the inner critic and lets subconscious ideas flow. 3. Dream analysis. Keeping a dream journal can help uncover themes and symbols that your subconscious is trying to communicate. 4. Walking or repetitive activity. Engaging in light, rhythmic activity like walking, knitting, or showering can lull the conscious mind and activate the subconscious. 5. Hypnagogia. This is the state between wakefulness and sleep, a fertile ground for creative insight. Try Edison or Dali's technique by napping with an object in hand to capture fleeting subconscious images. Why this matters? In a world that increasingly values logic, productivity, and data, it is easy to overlook the importance of the subconscious. But true creativity often defies logic. It leaps across boundaries, connects disparate ideas, and sees patterns that conscious thought misses. By learning to respect and access your subconscious mind, you unlock a powerful ally in the pursuit of creativity and innovation. As we continue this journey through the subconscious landscape, you will learn how to sharpen your intuitive faculties, dismantle inner blocks, and create the ideal environment for creative breakthroughs. The key is not to control the subconscious, but to create the space in which it can speak. And when it does, the results can be magical. Subconscious Spark Exercise. 1. Before bed tonight, write down a problem you're trying to solve or a creative project you're working on. 2. Place it under your pillow or by your nightstand. 3. In the morning, immediately jot down any thoughts, dreams, or images that come to mind. 4. Reflect on whether there are symbols, emotions, or ideas that might point toward a creative insight. Repeat this practice for 1 week. You may be surprised at what your subconscious has to say. Chapter 2: The Hidden Genius Within You. Some people believe that creativity is a rare gift, handed down to a select few by the gods of genius. This is the myth of the creative type, that some people are born to invent, write, paint, or perform, while the rest of us must simply admire their brilliance from afar. But modern science, psychology, and countless real-world examples tell a very different story. Creativity is not the property of the elite. It is a fundamental human trait, rooted deeply in the subconscious mind, and it exists in every one of us. In this chapter, we will explore how the subconscious mind holds the keys to your personal genius. We will challenge the myth of the creative type, examine how creativity can be cultivated, and learn to identify and harness the subtle workings of the subconscious to awaken your unique potential. You don't need to become someone else. You only need to uncover what's already within you. The myth of the creative type. From a young age, many of us are labeled. Some are told they're good at math, while others are told they're good at drawing. These labels become identities, shaping what we believe we can or cannot do. As a result, a child who is praised for being logical may never explore their creative instincts, while a child who is seen as artistic might never be encouraged to develop analytical skills. This false division creates the myth that creativity is something you're either born with or not. But brain science proves otherwise. Creativity is not housed in a single part of the brain, nor is it tied to a specific gene or personality type. In fact, studies show that creative thinking engages multiple brain networks, including those responsible for memory, imagination, reasoning, and emotion. This means that everyone has the biological hardware for creativity. The key is learning how to use it. Neuroscientist Dr. Roger Beatty, who studies the neuroscience of creativity, has shown through fMRI scans that highly creative individuals exhibit stronger connections between the brain's default mode network, associated with imagination, the executive control network, associated with decision-making, and the salience network, which filters relevant stimuli. This doesn't mean they were born with special wiring, it means they developed and reinforced these connections through practice, exposure, and experience. Subconscious roots of genius. Your subconscious mind plays a central role in this process. It stores every experience, image, sound, and sensation you've ever encountered. Much of what we call inspiration is actually your subconscious retrieving and recombining this stored information in new ways. Consider this. Have you ever had a sudden idea while doing something completely unrelated, like washing dishes or driving? That is your subconscious at work. It doesn't need your permission to make connections. It just needs the right environment. Famous creatives across disciplines have described this exact phenomenon. Novelist Elizabeth Gilbert, author of Eat, Pray, Love, says that ideas are like energetic entities floating in the atmosphere, waiting for someone receptive enough to catch them. This metaphor, while poetic, captures an essential truth: the subconscious is always scanning, always sorting, always connecting, whether we know it or not. The genius isn't outside of you. It's been whispering to you all along. Everyday people, extraordinary breakthroughs. You don't need to be Einstein or Mozart to have a creative breakthrough. In fact, some of the most impactful innovations and ideas come from people with no formal training, no high IQ scores, and no artistic resumes. Consider Joy Mangano, a single mother from Long Island who invented the miracle mop after becoming frustrated with traditional cleaning tools. Her idea didn't come from a textbook, it came from life. She listened to her frustration, let her subconscious work on a solution, and acted when inspiration struck. That invention launched a multi-million-dollar empire. Or take Jack Andraka, a 15-year-old high school student who developed a revolutionary method for detecting pancreatic cancer. With no lab experience, no funding, and no connections, he combined information from free scientific journals and applied subconscious problem-solving skills to create something that shocked the medical world. These are not anomalies. They are examples of what happens when people stop doubting their intuition and start listening to their inner voice. Cultivating subconscious creativity. If creativity is not a fixed trait, then how do we cultivate it? The answer lies in developing a conscious relationship with your subconscious mind. This means creating practices, habits, and mental frameworks that invite your subconscious to collaborate. Here are 5 powerful techniques to do just that. 1. Priming the subconscious. Before going to sleep, think about a problem you want to solve or a project you're working on. This is known as subconscious priming. Your brain continues to process information while you sleep, and many people report waking up with new insights or solutions. 2. Free association writing. Set a timer for 10 minutes and write without stopping. Don't censor yourself. Don't worry about grammar or logic. Just write. This exercise bypasses the inner critic and taps directly into the subconscious stream of thought. 3. Pattern disruption. The subconscious thrives on novelty. When you do something out of the ordinary, take a new route to work, eat with your non-dominant hand, listen to unfamiliar music, you jolt your brain out of autopilot. This sparks new connections and fresh ideas. 4. Visualization is a powerful tool that bridges the conscious and subconscious. Close your eyes and imagine yourself in the act of creating, painting, composing, solving, performing. Feel the textures, hear the sounds, experience the emotions. This mental rehearsal not only boosts confidence but also trains the subconscious to align with your goals. 5. Silence and solitude. The subconscious doesn't shout. It whispers. In our noisy world, we rarely give it the space it needs. Try spending time in quiet environments, away from screens, music, and chatter. Nature walks, meditation, and quiet journaling sessions can create the perfect conditions for inner genius to surface. Reframing failure and fear. One of the biggest barriers to accessing your creative subconscious is fear. Fear of being wrong. Fear of looking foolish. Fear of failure. But these fears are learned, not innate. And they can be unlearned. The subconscious does not distinguish between real and imagined threats. If you constantly tell yourself that you are not creative, or that your ideas are stupid, your subconscious believes you. But if you begin to feed it messages of possibility, courage, and openness, it will begin to reflect those beliefs back to you in the form of ideas, insights, and confidence. Reframing failure is part of this process. Every creative breakthrough is preceded by trial and error. Think of Thomas Edison's famous quote, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." The subconscious learns through repetition and persistence. By viewing each attempt as a stepping stone rather than a dead end, you condition your subconscious to keep going. Creative identity, rewriting the narrative. Many of us carry stories that limit our creativity. I'm not artistic, I'm too analytical, I don't have time. These are not truths, they are scripts. And scripts can be rewritten. Start by identifying one limiting belief you hold about your creative potential. Write it down. Then, write a new belief that empowers you. For example, limiting belief, I'm not good at coming up with ideas. Empowering belief, my subconscious mind is a rich source of inspiration, and I am learning to access it. Repeat this new belief daily. Say it aloud. Write it in your journal. Place it where you can see it. The more you reinforce it, the more your subconscious begins to accept it as reality. The inner child, reawakening wonder. Another path to subconscious creativity is through the inner child, the part of you that once played, imagined, and created freely. Children are naturally tapped into their subconscious minds. They invent worlds, characters, and stories with no fear of judgment. As adults, we often lose this freedom. We become self-conscious. We aim for perfection. We fear mistakes. But the subconscious doesn't operate on perfection, it thrives on play. Reignite your inner child by drawing or painting without a goal. Writing a silly poem. Playing with clay, Legos, or other hands-on materials. Creating something just for fun, with no intention to share or perfect it. When you allow yourself to play, you invite the subconscious to speak. The truth is, you are already creative. You are already connected to a vast, subconscious source of ideas, images, and insights. Your task is not to become creative, but to remember that you are. This chapter has been about clearing away the noise that tells you otherwise. The myth of the creative type has kept too many people silent for too long. But the hidden genius is not hiding at all, it's just waiting for you to listen. Exercise. Unleash your inner genius journal. 1. Write down 3 moments when you felt unexpectedly creative, even if they were small. 2. Reflect on what you were doing just before the idea struck. Were you relaxed? Distracted? In motion? 3. Identify one limiting belief you hold about your creativity and rewrite it into a positive affirmation. 4. For the next week, repeat this affirmation daily and engage in one playful activity each day. You don't need permission to be creative. You only need to trust the genius within you. Let it speak. Chapter 3, The Science of Sudden Inspiration. You're brushing your teeth, taking a shower, walking the dog, or just staring out a window, and suddenly, it hits you. The solution to a problem you've been wrestling with for days. A brilliant idea for a new project. A plot twist that perfectly ties your story together. These moments of sudden insight, often called aha or eureka moments, feel like magic. But beneath the surface, they are the result of powerful subconscious processes at work. In this chapter, we're going to strip away the mystery and explore the science of inspiration. What happens in the brain during moments of insight? Why do breakthroughs come when we're not actively thinking about the problem? And most importantly, how can you cultivate the conditions that make these moments more likely? The anatomy of an insight. Sudden inspiration may feel like lightning out of the blue, but in reality, it's the final spark of a process that has been brewing below the surface. Neuroscientists have studied insight by observing the brain in action during creative problem-solving tasks. One of the most revealing tools in this research is functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, which allows scientists to see which parts of the brain are active during different types of thinking. One key discovery is that insight tends to occur in a specific brain network called the default mode network, DMN. This network is active when we are not focused on the outside world, when we are daydreaming, resting, or letting our minds wander. It includes the medial prefrontal cortex, the posterior cingulate cortex, and parts of the parietal lobe. The DMN is the birthplace of imagination, self-reflection, and internal storytelling. Another essential player is the anterior superior temporal gyrus, a region of the right hemisphere of the brain. Research has shown that this area lights up just before a person experiences a moment of insight, often accompanied by a burst of high-frequency gamma waves, the neural signature of sudden realization. These bursts indicate that the brain has formed a novel connection between previously unrelated ideas. What appears to be sudden is actually the final puzzle piece falling into place after your subconscious has been silently rearranging the pieces behind the scenes. Conscious struggle, subconscious solution. To understand why insights come when we stop actively thinking, it helps to look at the difference between convergent and divergent thinking. Convergent thinking is linear and logical. It's great for tasks that require step-by-step reasoning. Divergent thinking, on the other hand, is expansive, intuitive, and nonlinear. It's essential for creativity. When we fixate on a problem, our brains tend to rely on familiar pathways. We try solutions that have worked before or seem obvious. But creativity requires stepping outside those well-trodden paths. That's where the subconscious comes in. When you take a break or shift your attention to a different activity, the subconscious mind keeps working. It wanders, explores, and forges unusual connections. This is known as incubation, a key stage in the creative process. Numerous studies have demonstrated the power of incubation. In one famous experiment, participants were asked to solve complex word puzzles. Those who were given a break to perform an unrelated task performed significantly better upon returning to the puzzles. Their subconscious minds had been quietly searching for answers during the downtime. The brainwaves of creativity. Another way to understand sudden inspiration is by examining the role of brainwaves. The brain operates on electrical impulses, and different frequencies correspond to different states of consciousness. Beta waves, 12 to 30 Hz associated with active, focused thinking. Great for solving known problems, but not ideal for inspiration. Alpha waves, 8 to 12 Hz. Associated with relaxed, reflective states. Alpha waves often emerge during meditation or daydreaming and are linked with heightened creativity. Theta waves, 4 to 8 Hz associated with light sleep, deep relaxation, and the edge of consciousness. These states are fertile ground for insights, as the mind is more open to novel associations. Gamma waves, 30 to 100 Hz associated with moments of peak insight and high-level information processing. When you're calm, relaxed, and not actively focused, your brain slips into alpha and theta states, ideal for connecting ideas in new ways. That's why ideas often come in the shower or during a walk in the park. You're giving your brain the bandwidth to operate at its most imaginative level. Creating your eureka environment. The good news is that you can create conditions that make it easier for sudden inspiration to strike. Here are some proven strategies. 1. Allow mental downtime. Schedule breaks into your day, especially after intense periods of focus. Take a walk, wash dishes, or do something repetitive and mindless. Let your mind wander. 2. Practice mindfulness. Regular meditation increases alpha wave activity and improves your ability to observe thoughts without attachment. This can lead to more frequent and clearer moments of insight. 3. Keep a creative notebook. Carry a small notebook or use an app on your phone to jot down thoughts and ideas as they come. Sometimes inspiration comes in fragments. Capturing these pieces allows your subconscious to keep building. 4. Engage in cross-training for the mind. Expose yourself to different fields of knowledge, art, and culture. Read outside your usual interests. Creative breakthroughs often occur when ideas from unrelated domains collide in the subconscious. 5. Use sleep as a tool. Many insights occur just before falling asleep or upon waking. Keep a notebook by your bed and write down thoughts that come to you in these moments. Sleep, especially REM sleep, helps consolidate memory and problem solving. Real-world eureka moments. Archimedes in the bath. The word eureka originates from the Greek mathematician Archimedes, who realized how to calculate the volume of irregular objects while stepping into a full bath. As the water overflowed, he suddenly understood that the amount of water displaced was equal to the volume of the object. He ran through the streets shouting, "Eureka! I have found it!" Isaac Newton and the apple. Legend has it that Newton conceived the idea of gravity after watching an apple fall from a tree. Though the story may be romanticized, the essence remains. The idea came not while he was calculating or experimenting, but during a moment of quiet observation. Paul McCartney and Yesterday. McCartney said the melody for Yesterday, one of the Beatles' most famous songs, came to him in a dream. He woke up, played it on the piano, and asked others if they had heard it before. It was entirely original, a gift from his sleeping mind. These stories remind us that the subconscious mind is always listening, always creating, always preparing to deliver inspiration, if we create space for it. Trusting the process. One of the most challenging aspects of cultivating sudden inspiration is learning to trust the subconscious. Because it works in mysterious, non-linear ways, it can feel unreliable or elusive. But like any skill, the more you work with your subconscious, the more responsive it becomes. Trust doesn't mean waiting passively. It means engaging in activities that nourish creativity while letting go of the need to control when or how the insight arrives. It means showing up, asking questions, feeding your brain interesting information, and then stepping back to allow the answers to surface. You may not always be able to summon a lightning bolt on demand. But you can build a life that invites lightning more often. Sudden inspiration isn't magic. It's the visible tip of a vast, submerged iceberg of subconscious processing. By understanding how the brain works during these moments, you can stop waiting for inspiration to strike by chance and start setting the stage for it to emerge. But for now, remember this: insight is not rare. It's not reserved for geniuses or mystics. It's a natural function of the human mind, your mind. And it's ready to speak when you're ready to listen. Exercise. Eureka Log Practice. 1. For the next 7 days, keep a small journal labeled Eureka Log. 2. Each day, write down any sudden ideas, solutions, or inspirations you receive. 3. Note what you were doing at the time, walking, resting, showering, etc. 4. At the end of the week, review the entries. Look for patterns. Are your best ideas coming during certain times or activities? 5. Use this information to design more subconscious-friendly moments into your daily routine. Inspiration is not a mystery. It's a map. And you're learning how to read it. Chapter 4, Dreams, Symbols, and Creative Gold. Each night, when we close our eyes and drift into sleep, we enter a world where the rules of reality dissolve. Time bends. Logic fades. Characters merge, morph, or disappear. And in the heart of this dream world lies a vast, untapped creative force, the subconscious mind fully unshackled. While we often dismiss dreams as random, meaningless, or even bizarre, they are in fact profound messages from within. For artists, writers, scientists, and innovators throughout history, dreams have served as fertile soil for creative breakthroughs. Dreams speak in symbols, images, and emotional truth, the native language of the subconscious. Learning to decode that language is like opening a treasure chest hidden in plain sight. In this chapter, we will explore how dreams function as a subconscious workshop for creativity. We'll examine the psychology of dreams, real-life examples of dream-inspired genius, techniques for dream recall, and methods for interpreting symbols and patterns. Whether you're an artist, entrepreneur, or problem solver, your dreams hold gold. Let's learn how to mine it. What are dreams, really? Dreams are mental experiences that occur primarily during the rapid eye movement, REM, stage of sleep. During REM sleep, the brain is highly active, almost as active as when we are awake, but the body is in a state of paralysis, which prevents us from acting out our dreams. Neuroscientists have found that the areas of the brain responsible for emotion, memory, and imagery are highly active during dreaming, while the prefrontal cortex, associated with logic and critical thinking, is mostly offline. This explains why dreams often feel emotional, symbolic, nonlinear, and surreal. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist and protege of Freud, believed that dreams were more than just byproducts of neural activity. He saw them as messages from the subconscious or even the collective unconscious, a shared reservoir of human experience and archetypal symbols. To Jung, dreams offered guidance, warnings, insights, and even solutions. Modern science and ancient wisdom agree on one thing: dreams are meaningful, even if that meaning is not always immediately clear. They are expressions of the inner self, unfiltered by social norms or logical constraints. History's greatest dream-inspired breakthroughs. The idea that dreams spark genius is not just poetic. It's historical. Mary Shelley and Frankenstein. In 1816, Mary Shelley had a vivid nightmare about a scientist who created life and was horrified by what he had made. She later described the dream as the moment the story of Frankenstein was born. The novel went on to become one of the most influential works of science fiction ever written. Dmitri Mendeleev and the Periodic Table. As we saw earlier, Russian chemist Dmitri Mendeleev dreamed of a table where elements fell into place according to their atomic weights. He awoke and immediately wrote it down. The dream laid the foundation for the periodic table we use today. Paul McCartney and Yesterday. Paul McCartney said the melody for Yesterday came to him in a dream. When he woke up, he quickly played it on a piano, worried that he had subconsciously copied someone else. But the melody was entirely original. Elias Howe and the Sewing Machine. Elias Howe was struggling to invent a working sewing machine when he had a nightmare of being captured by natives who threatened him with spears that had holes in the tips. He woke up realizing that placing the eye of the needle at the point, rather than the base, might solve his mechanical problem, and it did. These stories share a pattern. Each dream contained a vivid, emotionally charged symbol or narrative that held the key to a real-world problem or creative idea. The subconscious had done its work, and the dream delivered the message. Understanding dream symbols. Dreams rarely speak in plain language. Instead, they communicate through metaphor, archetypes, and symbols. To decode a dream is to translate its symbolic language. Carl Jung identified several archetypes that commonly appear in dreams. The shadow often represents repressed desires or traits we deny in ourselves. The anima/animus, the feminine aspect of the male psyche, or the masculine aspect of the female psyche. The wise old man/woman, a figure representing guidance, wisdom, or truth. The hero, often a representation of the dreamer's own journey or growth. Symbols can also be deeply personal. For one person, water may represent peace. For another, it may symbolize danger or the unknown. The key is not to rely entirely on dream dictionaries, but to ask yourself what the symbols mean to you. Some common dream themes and their potential meanings. Flying, a desire for freedom or transcendence. Falling, feeling out of control or overwhelmed. Being chased, avoidance of something you fear or don't want to face. Houses, represent the self or different aspects of your life. Doors, opportunities, transitions, or hidden parts of yourself. When you begin tracking your dreams regularly, you'll notice recurring symbols. These are like keywords your subconscious uses to get your attention. How to remember your dreams. Many people say, "I don't dream," or "I never remember my dreams." In truth, everyone dreams. The key is building the habit of recall. Here are strategies to improve dream memory. 1. Set the intention. Before sleep, tell yourself, "I will remember my dreams tonight." Your subconscious responds to clear instruction. 2. Keep a dream journal. Place a notebook and pen by your bed. The moment you wake up, write down anything you remember, images, feelings, fragments. Don't judge or analyze yet. 3. Wake naturally when possible. Alarms can jolt you out of sleep and erase dream memory. If possible, wake up gently or on your own. 4. Avoid screens before bed. Blue light and overstimulation before sleep can disrupt REM cycles. Wind down with quiet, reflective activities instead. 5. Sleep more. The longer you sleep, the more REM cycles you get. The final REM cycle of the night is often the longest and richest in dreams. Dream work for creative insight. Once you begin capturing your dreams, you can use them as creative tools. Here are exercises to help. 1. Dream incubation. Before bed, think about a creative question or problem you're facing. Write it down. Ask your subconscious to bring you a dream that provides insight. Be specific but open. 2. Dialoguing with dream characters. Write a conversation between you and a character or object from your dream. Ask it what it wants or represents. Let your imagination guide the dialogue. 3. Dream drawing or collage. Turn dream imagery into art. Even simple sketches or collages can reveal deeper layers of meaning. 4. Re-enter the dream. During waking meditation or visualization, imagine yourself stepping back into the dream. What do you notice? What would you ask or do differently? Real-life application, case study. Lucia, a graphic designer, struggled with creative block while working on a campaign for a wellness brand. She practiced dream incubation, asking for a dream that could help her find a fresh direction. That night, she dreamed of a huge tree shedding its leaves in a spiral motion. The image stayed with her. The next morning, she used the spiral motif in the design, combining it with natural textures and earth tones. Her client loved the result, and Lucia credited the dream for unlocking her creativity. This is not an isolated story. Once you begin treating dreams as creative allies, you'll find they rise to meet you. Dreams are not just nighttime entertainment or mental noise. They are bridges between your waking self and the deeper layers of your being. They offer solutions, symbols, warnings, and inspirations. Your subconscious speaks in this language every night, waiting for you to listen. Exercise. Dream Alchemy Ritual. 1. Before bed tonight, write a question or creative challenge on a slip of paper. 2. Place it under your pillow. 3. Upon waking, write down your dreams in detail, no matter how strange or fragmented. 4. Highlight any recurring symbols, emotions, or colors. 5. Reflect, how might these images relate metaphorically to your waking problem? Repeat for 7 nights. Patterns will emerge. Messages will become clearer. Your dreams may just become your most powerful creative partner. Sweet dreams, and golden insights await. Chapter 5, Hypnosis, Meditation, and the Gateway to Genius. The most brilliant minds across history have often shared a common secret: they knew how to enter altered states of consciousness. These states are not merely escapes from reality, they are doorways into deeper levels of perception, insight, and creativity. Through practices like meditation and hypnosis, we can consciously access the subconscious mind, the same vast reservoir that fuels dreams, flashes of genius, and unexpected breakthroughs. In this chapter, we explore how meditation and hypnosis act as gateways to the subconscious mind. We'll uncover how these practices have been used to awaken intuition, heighten awareness, and spark creative insight. You will learn the science behind these techniques, discover their role in activating brainwave states associated with creativity, and gain practical tools to start unlocking your own subconscious genius. What is an altered state of consciousness? An altered state of consciousness, ASC, refers to any mental state that is significantly different from our normal waking state. This includes daydreaming, dreaming, deep relaxation, meditation, trance, and even flow states. These states share one thing in common: the conscious mind loosens its grip, allowing the subconscious to take a more active role. Altered states are not mystical or esoteric. We experience them every day, often without realizing it. That moment right before falling asleep, hypnagogia. Getting lost in a good book or movie. Driving a familiar route and forgetting part of the journey. Becoming completely absorbed in a creative task. Through hypnosis and meditation, we can enter these states intentionally, making them tools for transformation and creativity rather than random occurrences. The science of meditation and the creative brain. Meditation, once seen as a spiritual or fringe activity, is now widely studied and embraced by neuroscience. Numerous studies show that regular meditation changes brain structure and function. These changes include thickening of the prefrontal cortex, improving focus, self-regulation, and decision-making. Activation of the default mode network, DMN, which is involved in imagination and internal narrative. Increased alpha and theta brainwave activity, associated with relaxation, visualization, and creativity. A 2012 study from Leiden University found that open monitoring meditation, a form of mindfulness that involves observing thoughts without judgment, significantly increased divergent thinking, the ability to generate many ideas from a single prompt. This is a core skill in creativity. Artists, writers, and inventors who meditate often report a heightened sense of flow, clarity, and inspiration. Meditation helps quiet the inner critic, allowing the subconscious to speak more freely. It also trains your attention, which is essential for sustaining the focus required for creative work. Hypnosis, the subconscious amplifier. If meditation is like walking slowly into the ocean of your subconscious, hypnosis is diving in with a clear intention. Hypnosis is a state of focused attention and heightened suggestibility, often achieved through guided relaxation. Contrary to popular myths, hypnosis is not mind control. You remain conscious, aware, and in control. What changes is your access to deeper parts of your mind. During hypnosis, the critical filter of the conscious mind relaxes. This allows suggestions, visualizations, and affirmations to reach the subconscious more directly. Hypnotherapists use this for everything from breaking bad habits to overcoming fears, and increasingly, for unlocking creative potential. Creative hypnosis can help break through writer's block or artistic stagnation. Rewire limiting beliefs about your abilities. Recover forgotten memories or ideas. Enhance confidence and self-expression. Explore imagery and symbolism for inspiration. Guided journeys into creative states. Let's explore how meditation and hypnosis can be used practically to tap into your genius. 1. Creative visualization meditation. This technique involves entering a relaxed state and vividly imagining a desired creative outcome. Steps. 1. Find a quiet space. Sit or lie down comfortably. 2. Close your eyes and take deep breaths, slowly relaxing your body. 3. Visualize a scene where you are fully engaged in your creative work. See the details. Feel the emotions. Hear the sounds. 4. Imagine completing the work and feeling fulfilled. 5. Let your mind drift and observe any unexpected images, thoughts, or symbols that arise. This practice not only programs the subconscious but also often delivers surprising insights. 2. Subconscious dialoguing, hypnotic script. This method uses hypnotic suggestion to open communication with a part of your subconscious that holds creative wisdom. Steps. 1. Begin with deep breathing to induce relaxation. 2. Silently suggest, I now connect with the part of me that holds creative inspiration. 3. Ask a question mentally, like, what idea wants to emerge now? 4. Wait without expectation. Observe any sensations, images, or words that arise. 5. Write them down immediately after the session. You can record these steps in your own voice and play them back, or use guided hypnosis apps designed for creativity. Real-world success stories. Walt Disney used self-hypnosis and visualization regularly. He would imagine entire worlds in vivid detail before bringing them to life. He once said, "If you can dream it, you can do it." Thomas Edison used trance-like naps to tap into his subconscious mind. As discussed earlier, he would hold metal balls and drift into hypnagogic states to catch ideas in transition. Sylvia Plath. The poet Sylvia Plath often entered altered states through rhythmic writing and introspection. Her stream of consciousness entries were rich with imagery drawn from deep subconscious layers. These individuals didn't wait for inspiration. They created internal laboratories where genius could emerge. Tools for practice. You don't need to be a mystic or a monk to benefit from these practices. Here are some tools to support your journey. Meditation apps, Insight Timer, Calm, Headspace. Some have creativity-focused meditations. Creative hypnosis apps, Reverie, Gray Space Hypnosis, Harmony Hypnosis. Guided visualizations, available on YouTube or through books like Creative Visualization by Shakti Gawain. Binaural beats and soundscapes. These help induce alpha and theta brainwave states. Voice recorder. Record your own affirmations or creative visualizations to personalize the process. Start with just 10 minutes a day. The more you practice, the more receptive your mind becomes. Addressing resistance and skepticism. It's natural to feel skeptical about accessing creative inspiration through altered states. Many people worry they can't meditate or fear hypnosis will make them lose control. Here's the truth. You do not need to empty your mind to meditate. The goal is not silence, but awareness. Hypnosis is a natural state you enter daily, e.g., while daydreaming. Everyone can access these states. Like any skill, it improves with gentle, regular practice. What matters most is your willingness to be open and curious. Treat it like an experiment. Let go of needing results and focus on the experience. Meditation and hypnosis are not fringe tools for the few. They are powerful, accessible practices for anyone willing to pause, breathe, and listen. In a world of constant distraction, they offer a return to yourself, to the silent source of ideas that has always been waiting beneath the noise. By learning to navigate these altered states, you unlock access to an inner sanctuary where your most original thoughts reside. Whether you want to write a book, design a product, solve a complex problem, or simply live more intuitively, this gateway is always open to you. Exercise. 10-minute creative gateway practice. 1. Find a quiet place and sit comfortably. 2. Set a timer for 10 minutes. 3. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. 4. Silently say, I now open the door to my creative subconscious. 5. Let your mind wander. Don't try to force thoughts. Just observe. 6. When the timer ends, journal for 5 minutes about any images, thoughts, or sensations. Repeat this daily for 1 week. Track patterns, themes, or recurring symbols. Over time, you may find that the gateway becomes easier to enter, and what lies within becomes clearer. The genius you seek is already within. Let silence guide you to it. Chapter 6: Breaking Mental Blocks, Rewiring Limiting Beliefs. Some of the greatest creative revolutions in history didn't begin with a flash of inspiration, but with a shift in belief. Before someone can paint a masterpiece, invent a breakthrough technology, or write a world-changing book, they must believe it is possible. Creativity isn't just a product of talent or practice, it's deeply influenced by our inner dialogue, and that dialogue is largely controlled by our subconscious beliefs. In this chapter, we will explore the powerful connection between belief and creativity. We'll examine how limiting beliefs take root in the subconscious mind, how they block your creative potential, and how to rewire them for empowerment, confidence, and visionary thinking. If you've ever thought, I'm not creative, I'll never be successful, or, it's too late for me, this chapter is for you. The inner glass ceiling. Many of us are walking around with invisible scripts running in the background of our minds. These scripts were written long ago, often in childhood, based on experiences, cultural conditioning, or even offhand comments from parents, teachers, or peers. You might consciously want to write a novel, launch a business, or paint again. But if your subconscious holds a belief like, I'm not good enough, it will quietly sabotage you with procrastination, self-doubt, and fear. These limiting beliefs act like an inner glass ceiling. You may be able to rise toward your goal, but you keep hitting a mental barrier that holds you back. Until those beliefs are exposed and rewritten, true creative breakthroughs remain elusive. Where limiting beliefs come from. The subconscious mind is like a sponge in childhood. Before the age of 7, the brain operates primarily in theta waves, the same state accessed during hypnosis. This means children absorb everything as truth, without the ability to critically evaluate it. Some examples of how limiting beliefs form. A child who is told, art is a hobby, not a career, may grow up believing their creativity has no value. A student mocked for a class presentation might internalize the belief that they are not good at speaking or expressing ideas. A parent's perfectionism can plant the belief that anything less than flawless is worthless. Over time, these beliefs get reinforced through repeated experiences, eventually becoming subconscious truths. Common creative limiting beliefs. Let's name a few of the most pervasive subconscious beliefs that block creativity. 1. I'm not creative. Often based on a misunderstanding of what creativity truly is. 2. I don't have time. A reflection of unconscious priorities or avoidance rooted in fear of failure. 3. I'm too old/young/new/inexperienced. The belief that creativity has an expiration date or requires credentials. 4. If I try and fail, I'll be humiliated. Tied to past rejection or fear of judgment. 5. My work must be perfect or it's worthless. Perfectionism masquerading as high standards, but really stemming from fear. 6. Others are already doing it better. Comparison that leads to paralysis. Recognizing these beliefs is the first step toward changing them. The neuroscience of belief. Your brain is a belief machine. Every thought you repeat becomes a neural pathway. The more you think it, the more your brain wires it as truth. This is called neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to adapt and rewire based on experience and thought. The subconscious mind cannot distinguish between imagination and reality. This is why visualizations, affirmations, and even dreams can shape your beliefs and behaviors. If you constantly imagine failure, your brain responds as though it is real, reinforcing a cycle of fear and hesitation. However, the same principle works in your favor. By consistently feeding your mind empowering thoughts and new beliefs, you can literally reprogram your brain to support creativity, confidence, and innovation. Techniques to rewire limiting beliefs. Let's explore proven methods to shift your subconscious programming and unlock greater creativity. 1. Identify and write the belief. Start by writing down your creative goals. Ask yourself, what beliefs might be holding me back from achieving this? Write them honestly, no matter how irrational they may seem. 2. Challenge the belief. Ask, is this belief objectively true? What evidence do I have for or against it? Often, you'll realize it's just a story you've told yourself. 3. Flip the script, affirmation building. Turn the limiting belief into an empowering one. Old belief, I'm not creative. New belief, creativity is my natural state. I discover new ideas easily. Repeat this affirmation daily, especially in relaxed states, after meditation or before sleep. 4. Visualization. Imagine yourself engaging in the creative activity you desire. See it in detail. Feel the emotions. Hear the sounds. Do this for 5 to 10 minutes a day. Your subconscious will begin to accept it as real. 5. Reframe past experiences. Recall a time you failed or were criticized creatively. Rewrite the narrative. What did you learn? How has it shaped your growth? This helps disarm emotional triggers that reinforce limiting beliefs. Creative reprogramming meditation, practice. Purpose, to implant a new creative belief into your subconscious. 1. Sit or lie in a quiet place. Close your eyes. 2. Breathe deeply and relax for a few minutes. 3. Visualize yourself as confident, inspired, and successful in your creative pursuit. 4. Repeat a chosen affirmation slowly, I am deeply creative. My ideas flow easily. 5. Imagine your subconscious as fertile soil. Each repetition is a seed. 6. After 5 to 10 minutes, open your eyes and journal any impressions. Repeat this practice for 21 days to build a new belief system. Case studies, real people, real shifts. Julia Cameron. Author of The Artist's Way, Cameron struggled with alcoholism and self-doubt before becoming a guide for millions of blocked creatives. Her concept of morning pages, stream of consciousness journaling, helps rewire the mind and bypass internal censorship. Jim Carrey. The actor famously wrote himself a $10 million check for acting services rendered before he had any major roles. He visualized it daily. Years later, he was paid $10 million for Dumb and Dumber. He credits belief and visualization for his success. Lisa, the late-blooming painter. A 52-year-old woman, Lisa believed she was too old to start painting. Through guided hypnosis and affirmations, she dismantled that belief and began painting every weekend. Within 2 years, her work was featured in a local gallery. When beliefs become identity. One of the most challenging things about limiting beliefs is that they often masquerade as identity. I'm not a creative person isn't just a belief, it's a self-definition. To change it means to question who you think you are. This process can feel uncomfortable, even threatening. But it's also liberating. You are not your past. You are not your fears. You are not your failures. You are a dynamic, creative being with the power to change. Exercise. Belief rewiring worksheet. 1. Write down a creative goal. 2. Identify 3 beliefs holding you back. I'm not a good writer. Nobody will want to read it. I never finish what I start. 3. Challenge each belief. Is it absolutely true? Where did it come from? Has it ever been proven wrong? 4. Write new affirmations. I am becoming a better writer every day. My voice matters, and someone needs to hear it. I complete what I start because it matters to me. 5. Read these aloud daily. Repeat for 21 days. Limiting beliefs are not your fault, but they are your responsibility. Once you become aware of them, you have the power to change them. And when you do, something incredible happens. Your subconscious stops working against you and starts working with you. Your creative potential is not limited by your talent, your resources, or your past. It is limited only by the beliefs you hold. Break them. Rewrite them. And step into the genius that has always been yours. Chapter 7: The Role of Emotion in Subconscious Creation. Creativity is not a sterile act. It is not born from cold logic or rigid thinking. Instead, it often emerges from the emotional depths of the subconscious mind. Think about the art that moves you, the music that stirs something inside, the words that make you weep or laugh, all of them are infused with emotion. In this chapter, we explore the intimate relationship between emotion and the subconscious mind, and how this relationship becomes the driving force behind creative expression. You'll learn how emotions act as messengers from the subconscious, how to navigate emotional turbulence for inspiration, and how to channel your emotional landscape into work that resonates deeply. The emotional brain and the subconscious. Neuroscientists have long studied the limbic system, the emotional center of the brain. It operates alongside the subconscious, influencing behavior, memory, and creative impulse. This system is older than the rational, analytical part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, and it plays a central role in imagination and intuitive thought. Creative breakthroughs rarely come from a place of neutrality. They come when something moves us. Whether it's love, grief, joy, anger, awe, or longing, these emotions open a portal into the subconscious mind. They unearth memories, dreams, associations, and visions we didn't know we carried. Why emotions unlock creativity. 1. Emotion creates connection. Creative work that touches others usually comes from a place of emotional truth. Emotions make your work relatable and human. 2. Emotion bypasses the inner critic. When you are deeply emotional, you often create more freely. You're less concerned with perfection and more concerned with expression. 3. Emotion drives urgency and authenticity. Emotional intensity fuels urgency, pushing you to express something that feels essential. This is often when the most honest and original work is born. 4. Emotion anchors memory and meaning. Emotionally charged memories are more likely to surface from the subconscious. These moments become powerful material for creative transformation. Emotions as subconscious signals. The subconscious speaks through feeling. When you feel drawn to something or repelled by it, that is your inner mind communicating with you. Some emotional cues that often point to creative material. Nostalgia signals untapped stories, longing, or unresolved past. Frustration indicates where you feel blocked, pointing to hidden desires or ideas. Envy, not a shameful emotion, it can signal what you deeply wish to create. Joy. A green light from your subconscious that you're aligned with your purpose. Grief, a wellspring of depth and transformation. By observing and embracing these emotional cues, you tap into a deeper reservoir of inspiration. Childhood, the emotional creative well. Many of our strongest emotional imprints come from childhood, and they often lie dormant in the subconscious. As children, we experienced emotion with raw intensity. We also created freely, drawing, dancing, pretending, storytelling, without judgment. Reconnecting with childhood emotions can reignite creative impulses. Ask yourself, what did I love as a child? What emotions defined my early years? When did I stop expressing myself, and why? This reflection often leads to powerful creative healing. Using emotional triggers as creative catalysts. Most people avoid uncomfortable emotions. But for creatives, these moments are often rich with possibility. Triggers. A breakup. A rejection letter. Losing a loved one. A major life change. A powerful dream or visions. Instead of resisting, try leaning into the emotion. Write about it. Sing it. Paint it. Dance it. Use it as fuel. Case study: Frida Kahlo, the iconic painter, turned her physical pain, heartbreak, and longing into unforgettable art. Her self-portraits were not just visual representations, they were emotional landscapes that allowed others to feel her world. Transmuting emotion into creative output. Transmutation is the act of taking raw emotional energy and transforming it into a different form: art, writing, performance, design. Here's a process to help you do just that. 1. Name the emotion. Get specific. Is it shame, guilt, fear, awe, pride? 2. Feel it fully, don't rush to fix it. Sit with it. Let it wash through you. 3. Ask the emotion what it wants. What message is it trying to deliver? What story does it carry? 4. Create from it, let the emotion dictate the form. If it feels angry, paint in bold strokes. If it feels tender, write poetry. 5. Reflect. After creating, journal about the experience. What did you learn about yourself? About the emotion? Emotional intelligence and the creative life. Emotional intelligence, EQ, is the ability to identify, understand, and manage your emotions. High EQ enhances creativity by helping you navigate self-doubt. Handle criticism without shutting down. Build empathy, which fuels storytelling and design. Stay resilient through creative challenges. To grow your EQ. Practice mindfulness. Name your feelings instead of numbing them. Use journaling to process emotions. Talk openly with trusted friends or mentors. Channeling joy and playfulness. Creativity doesn't always have to be serious. In fact, some of the most profound breakthroughs come from lightness, silliness, and joy. Play is the language of the subconscious. When you allow yourself to play, you enter a state of flow. You release judgment. You connect with your inner child. Exercise. Take 20 minutes today to do something playful with no outcome in mind. Doodle, dance, sing, act out a skit. Let your emotions guide the activity. Emotional cycles and the creative rhythm. Just like the seasons, our emotions fluctuate. And so does our creativity. In spring, we feel energized, ready to birth new ideas. In summer, we flourish, producing with ease. In autumn, we reflect and refine. In winter, we rest, dream, and incubate. Understanding your emotional seasons helps you stop fighting the ebb and flow. You learn to trust your rhythm, which creates a more sustainable creative life. From emotion to empathy to impact. When you tap into your own emotions and express them honestly, something magical happens: you begin to touch others. Your vulnerability gives others permission to feel. Your sadness becomes their solace. Your wonder becomes their awakening. Great creative works don't just entertain, they connect. They create empathy. They ripple outward. They change the world. Practice, Emotional Alchemy Journal. For the next 7 days, try the following. 1. Each morning, write down your dominant emotion. 2. Ask, what is this feeling trying to tell me? 3. Create one small thing from it: a sentence, a sketch, a melody, a photo. 4. At the end of the week, review. What patterns do you notice? What surprised you? This practice builds the muscle of emotional awareness and transmutation. Emotion is the lifeblood of creativity. The subconscious mind is constantly processing your feelings, and when you learn to listen, you gain access to a treasure trove of inspiration. Don't run from your emotions. Don't numb them. Don't label them as good or bad. Feel them. Follow them. Create from them. In doing so, you open the door to art, ideas, and insights that are not only powerful, but deeply human. Chapter 8: Rituals and Habits for Subconscious Training. If the subconscious mind is the soil from which creative breakthroughs emerge, then your daily habits and rituals are the gardeners tending it. Habits are more than routine behaviors. They are the language through which we train the subconscious. What you repeatedly do, think, and feel becomes etched into the deep structures of your inner mind. In this chapter, we explore how intentional habits and creative rituals shape the subconscious and foster consistent access to your creative genius. We'll examine the neuroscience behind habit formation, introduce powerful daily rituals that prime the mind for inspiration, and help you design a personalized practice that transforms your creativity from occasional spark to a burning, sustainable flame. Why rituals matter to the subconscious. A ritual is a symbolic action. It signals to the subconscious mind that a certain state or intention is about to be activated. Unlike rigid routines, rituals are infused with meaning and emotion, two things the subconscious responds to deeply. Consider how athletes have pre-game rituals, artists have morning routines, and writers have specific environments they return to each day. These are not just preferences, they are training tools that prepare the subconscious for flow and expression. Rituals provide consistency, builds trust between conscious and subconscious. Focus, reduces mental clutter, allowing deep work. Anchoring, associates external actions with internal states. Symbolism, gives personal meaning to the creative process. The neuroscience of habit formation. Habits are governed by the basal ganglia, a deep brain structure linked to emotion, memory, and pattern recognition. When a behavior is repeated, neural pathways are reinforced through a process called myelination, which speeds up the transmission of signals between brain cells. According to Charles Duhigg, author of The Power of Habit, every habit consists of a three-step loop. 1. Cue, a trigger that initiates the habit. 2. Routine, the behavior itself. 3. Reward, the benefit you gain, which reinforces repetition. Creative rituals can be designed using this loop to signal the subconscious. Now is the time to create. Over time, the transition into creative states becomes easier, faster, and more reliable. Designing your creative ritual. To craft an effective creative ritual, follow these guidelines. 1. Choose a consistent time and space. Time, morning is ideal for many, when the subconscious is still active from sleep. Space, a dedicated space, however small, tells your mind, this is where ideas are born. 2. Create a sensory cue. Light a candle. Play a specific playlist. Brew a cup of tea. Use a particular scent or essential oil. Sensory triggers deepen the connection between external ritual and internal state. 3. Set a clear intention. Begin each session by saying aloud or writing down an intention, such as, I open myself to creative flow. I am here to explore, not to judge. My subconscious offers me insight and inspiration. 4. Engage in a mind-priming activity. Spend 5 to 10 minutes in a state that quiets the conscious mind. Meditation. Breath work. Gentle movement, like stretching or walking. Free writing, also known as morning pages. These activities calm the nervous system and activate subconscious receptivity. Famous creative rituals. Maya Angelou rented a hotel room to write, bringing only her tools and removing distractions. She performed the same ritual every time. Ludwig van Beethoven began each day with a cup of coffee made from exactly 60 beans, followed by composing. Haruki Murakami wakes at 4 a.m., writes for 5 to 6 hours, runs or swims in the afternoon, then reads and listens to music. This strict routine, he says, is his form of hypnotizing himself. These may seem obsessive, but they reveal a truth: structure liberates creativity. The ritual is not a cage, it's a key. The power of microhabits. Creativity doesn't always need long hours. Microhabits, or small, consistent actions, train the subconscious to stay attuned to inspiration. Try these. Write one sentence a day. Sketch for 5 minutes. Record one idea before bed. Read a paragraph of poetry or fiction. When repeated, these microhabits become rituals that maintain a creative baseline, even on busy or low-energy days. Weekly and monthly rituals for long-term depth. Beyond daily rituals, larger creative cycles benefit from periodic reflection and planning. Weekly rituals. Review your creations. Journal about emotional patterns. Set intentions for the upcoming week. Monthly rituals. Create a vision board. Review goals. Celebrate creative wins, no matter how small. These longer-term rituals reinforce purpose and progression, deepening your relationship with your creative path. Movement, nature, and the subconscious. Some of the best rituals involve the body and the natural world. The subconscious thrives on sensory richness and movement. Incorporate. Walking meditation, especially in nature, which resets the brain and stimulates idea generation. Yoga or Qigong, gentle, mindful movement clears emotional blocks. Dancing, frees stored energy and unlocks spontaneity. Regular movement rituals maintain emotional and energetic flow, preventing creative stagnation. Rituals to overcome resistance. Resistance is inevitable. When it arises, having fallback rituals can help you push through. Try. 5-minute rule: commit to just 5 minutes of creative work. Often, that's enough to break inertia. Resistance dialoguing: write a letter to your resistance. Ask what it needs. Offer it compassion. Permission slips: write yourself notes like, "It's okay to make something messy today," or "I don't have to be perfect." These rituals lower the bar of entry and re-establish trust with the subconscious. Sleep and dreaming as rituals. Sleep is one of the most powerful subconscious tools. Dreaming is your mind's native storytelling process. Evening rituals to tap dream creativity. Write a question before bed: what idea wants to come through tonight? Keep a dream journal beside your bed. Use sleep meditations or binaural beats. The more you honor your dreams, the more the subconscious offers you in return. Building a creative morning practice. Many creators find mornings to be their most potent time. Here's a sample ritual. Creative morning ritual, 30 minutes. 1. Wake and hydrate, 5 minutes. 2. Meditation or breath work, 5 minutes. 3. Journaling or morning pages, 10 minutes. 4. Focused creative work, 10 minutes. This short but powerful routine conditions the subconscious to expect creativity each day. Customizing your subconscious training system. No two creators are the same. Design your rituals based on your unique rhythms, needs, and goals. Key questions. When do I feel most alive and inspired? What activities help me access flow? What triggers sabotage or avoidance? How can I turn those moments into rituals instead of resistance? Write out your personal system. Test it for 21 days. Tweak as needed. Track your results and emotional patterns. Practice. Your ritual blueprint. Step 1. Choose one daily creative ritual, 10 to 30 minutes. Step 2. Design a weekly review ritual, 15 minutes. Step 3. Select a sensory anchor, scent, sound, object. Step 4. Write a permission slip for your next session. Step 5. Commit to 7 days. Log your feelings and progress. This simple blueprint initiates the subconscious into a new pattern of openness and reliability. Rituals and habits are not constraints. They are containers for your creative genius. The subconscious mind responds best to signals, structure, and symbolism. By building rituals with care and intention, you invite your inner self to show up again and again. Over time, this invitation becomes a relationship, and that relationship becomes the foundation of a truly creative life. Chapter 9: Flow State and Subconscious Immersion. Have you ever lost track of time while working on something you loved? Hours passed like minutes, distractions faded, and your actions felt effortless, almost guided by an unseen force. That phenomenon is known as flow state, a peak experience where the conscious and subconscious minds harmonize, unlocking extraordinary creativity, performance, and insight. In this chapter, we will explore what flow state truly is, the neuroscience behind it, how it taps directly into the subconscious mind, and the specific practices that can help you enter this state more frequently and reliably. You'll also learn how world-class creatives, athletes, and innovators use flow to supercharge their work and what you can do today to begin engineering your own flow experiences. Understanding flow state. Flow was first coined by psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi in the 1970s. He described it as a state in which people are so involved in an activity that nothing else seems to matter. The experience is so enjoyable that people will do it even at great cost, for the sheer sake of doing it. Flow is a moment when your skills perfectly match the challenge in front of you. It is characterized by complete absorption in the task, loss of self-consciousness, distorted sense of time, effortless action, heightened creativity and insight. It is the holy grail of creative performance. And your subconscious is its silent architect. The neuroscience of flow. Flow state is not mystical, it is biological. During flow, prefrontal cortex activity decreases, the part of the brain responsible for self-criticism and time awareness temporarily shuts down, a process called transient hypofrontality. Dopamine and norepinephrine flood the brain. These neurochemicals increase focus, motivation, and pattern recognition. Anandamide and serotonin rise, elevating mood, promoting lateral thinking, and allowing new ideas to form. Gamma-wave synchronization, heightened brainwave coherence links distant parts of the brain for rapid insight. In essence, flow state is when the subconscious mind takes the reins. Flow as subconscious mastery. The subconscious is a pattern-detecting, emotion-feeling, memory-storing powerhouse. In flow, your subconscious organizes your knowledge and skills like a symphony conductor. You bypass the inner critic and allow deep creativity to emerge. Emotional and sensory input becomes fuel, not distraction. In this state, you trust yourself to create without overthinking. Conditions that trigger flow. According to research by Stephen Kotler and the Flow Genome Project, flow has identifiable flow triggers. By aligning with these triggers, you increase the likelihood of entering the zone. 1. Clear goals, know exactly what you are trying to do. 2. Immediate feedback, see or feel your progress in real time. 3. Balanced challenge-skill ratio, the task is challenging, but within your ability. 4. Deep concentration, distraction-free focus. 5. Risk or consequence, stakes elevate engagement. 6. Novelty and complexity, new or unpredictable elements. 7. Autonomy, you feel ownership over the work. The more of these you include in your creative practice, the more you prime your subconscious for immersion. Entering flow, a practical framework. You can't force flow, but you can create the conditions for it. Here's a step-by-step strategy. 1. Pre-flow ritual, priming the mind. Start with a habit or ritual, see Chapter 8. Set a clear goal and remove distractions. Use breathwork or mindfulness to calm the mind. 2. The focus sprint, immersion window. Work in a 90-minute uninterrupted block. Use music, binaural beats, or silence. Silence notifications. Use apps like Freedom or Forest. 3. Flow entry, the sweet spot. As you immerse, focus sharpens. Self-consciousness fades. Ideas and solutions emerge rapidly. 4. Flow maintenance. Don't multitask. Stay with the discomfort if it arises. Trust your instincts. 5. Flow recovery. After deep work, engage in restorative activities, walk, journal, nap. Reflect on the insights gained. Flow in action, case studies. 1. The jazz musician. Improvisational jazz is a flow-inducing art. Musicians let go of conscious control, trust their training, and allow the subconscious to guide fingers, tempo, and tone. Mistakes become melodies. 2. The writer-novelist Toni Morrison wrote early in the morning, when dreams still lingered. She described writing as listening to something beneath her own thoughts. 3. The athletes Serena Williams, Michael Jordan, and Tom Brady have all described moments when the game seemed to slow down. They were not thinking, they were the action. Flow blockers, what keeps you out? If flow feels elusive, the cause is often internal noise. Here are common flow blockers. Perfectionism, the critic overpowers the creator. Multitasking, disrupts deep focus and brain coherence. Disorganization, a cluttered space can disrupt a clear mind. Low emotional state, anxiety or lethargy cloud access. Solutions. Simplify your environment. Use rituals to signal a shift. Exercise before creative work to increase dopamine. Practice radical self-compassion. Flow and the subconscious dialogue. When in flow, your conscious mind steps aside. You enter a dialogue with the deeper self. The subconscious pulls memories, ideas, images, and emotional truth. You respond, not from logic, but from instinct and integration. The result is often surprising and deeply resonant. This is not magic. It is mastery through alignment. Flow and time perception. In flow, time behaves differently. It may speed up, you lose track of hours. Or it may slow down, moments stretch, and you feel hyper-present. This is because the prefrontal cortex, which tracks time, is quieted during flow. Your subconscious doesn't experience time the way your conscious mind does. Insight: if you want to expand your creative time, enter flow more often. 1 hour in flow can be more productive than 4 hours in distraction. Practices to cultivate flow regularly. 1. Daily meditation, even 10 minutes enhances focus and calm. 2. Focused reading, builds attention span. 3. Journaling. Clears cluttered thoughts and tracks insight. 4. Intentional rest, flow needs recovery, sleep, daydreaming, nature. 5. Creative sprints, time-boxed bursts with a clear output goal. Flow ritual. Light a candle. Play a specific song. Breathe for 1 minute. Begin a focused sprint. Flow and spirituality. Many describe flow as a spiritual experience. A connection to something greater. A dissolving of ego. A channeling of higher intelligence. Regardless of belief, flow aligns with core spiritual states. Presence. Surrender. Unity. Tapping into flow not only deepens your creativity but also your sense of meaning. Practice, flow tracker. For the next 5 days, try this. 1. Choose a 60 to 90-minute task that matters to you. 2. Prepare your flow environment, clear space, eliminate distractions. 3. Begin with a short ritual. 4. After the session, journal. Did you enter flow? What helped? What disrupted it? What insights emerged? Over time, this builds a personal blueprint for entering flow. Flow is not a rare accident. It is a skill, a practice, and a subconscious superpower. When you learn to engineer your environment, align with challenge, and enter deep states of focus, you awaken the full genius of your subconscious mind. Your work becomes more alive. Your effort becomes joy. Chapter 10: Sustaining Creative Breakthroughs Through Subconscious Alignment. The spark of creativity can light up in an instant, a flash of inspiration, an unexpected idea, a sudden solution. But sustaining that spark, turning fleeting moments of brilliance into a lifelong flame, requires something deeper: alignment. In this final chapter, we explore how to create lasting creative breakthroughs by aligning your subconscious mind with your long-term vision, values, and purpose. You'll discover how to maintain creative flow, overcome burnout, and integrate all the previous principles into a sustainable lifestyle of innovation and imagination. Creativity as a lifestyle, not a moment. Most people treat creativity like a rare guest, unpredictable, elusive, and temporary. But for those who live creatively, it's not an occasional visitor, it's a way of being. The difference lies in subconscious alignment. When your inner beliefs, emotions, and daily habits are synchronized with your creative goals, you move through life as a creative force. Your subconscious becomes a co-creator, not a saboteur. This requires intentional design. What is subconscious alignment? Alignment means your thoughts, conscious. Beliefs and emotions, subconscious. Actions, behavioral. Are all pointing in the same direction. When these forces work together, you experience consistent motivation, clear intuition, reduced internal conflict, increased creative output. Misalignment, on the other hand, causes friction. You want to create, but procrastinate. You dream of success, but fear it subconsciously. You start projects, but rarely finish. Bringing your subconscious into alignment is the key to sustainable success. Identify your creative purpose. Creativity without purpose can feel directionless. To sustain your efforts, you need a guiding vision. This doesn't have to be lofty or fixed, but it should answer: what kind of creative life do I want? What do I want my work to express or contribute? How do I want to feel while creating? Heal the inner saboteur. Even with a clear vision, your subconscious may resist. Why? Past failures. Critical voices, internal or external. Fear of judgment. Limiting beliefs: I'm not talented enough. To neutralize the saboteur. 1. Name the belief, e.g., I must be perfect to be accepted. 2. Trace its origin: where did it come from? 3. Challenge it: is it true? Is it helpful? 4. Replace it: I am growing through every imperfect creation. This work is slow but transformational. Daily practices for long-term alignment. To keep your subconscious aligned, embed it into your routine. Here are 5 powerful tools. 1. Morning intention setting. Each day, affirm your identity. I am a committed creator. My ideas matter. I create with joy and purpose. 2. Visualization. Spend 5 minutes visualizing your ideal creative life. See yourself completing projects, sharing your work, feeling proud. 3. Affirmations. Reprogram limiting beliefs with positive repetition. E.g., every day, I grow more confident in my creative voice. 4. Gratitude practice. List 3 things you're grateful for each evening. Gratitude reinforces abundance and creativity. 5. End-of-day reflection. Ask, what did I create today? What aligned? What needs attentions? Create systems, not just goals. Goals are important. But systems sustain. Goal: write a novel. System: write 500 words every morning. Goal: become a musician. System: practice 30 minutes daily. When systems are built around your creative identity, the subconscious supports them automatically. Tip: make systems enjoyable and easy to begin. The harder the ritual, the more resistance the subconscious will raise. Surround yourself with alignment. Your environment affects your subconscious more than you think. People Who uplifts your creativity? Who dims it? Spaces, is your workspace inspiring or draining? Media, what are you feeding your mind? Creative alignment audit. Evaluate your inputs, conversations, content, clutter. Clean up what doesn't support your creative identity. Embrace seasons and cycles. Creativity is not linear. It has cycles. Expansion, bursts of output. Consolidation, editing, refining. Incubation, rest, stillness, idea development. Breakthrough, insight, evolution. Sustainable creators trust these cycles. They don't fight winter. They rest, reflect, and plant for spring. Align your subconscious with these rhythms by not forcing output constantly. Celebrating pauses as part of the process. Journaling through down cycles. Reconnect with play and curiosity. Alignment doesn't mean rigidity. In fact, play is essential. When you follow curiosity, you bypass fear. You reignite childlike wonder. You invite the subconscious to lead. Play practices. Doodle aimlessly. Try a new medium. Write nonsense poetry. Take a class with zero pressure to succeed. These practices revive joy and feed long-term alignment. Contribution, the final layer of alignment. The deepest level of creative fulfillment comes not from self-expression alone, but from impact. When your work touches others, your subconscious feels validated, seen, and purposeful. Ask yourself, who is this for? What do I hope they feel or understand? How can I serve through my creativity? When your subconscious feels you're contributing, it sustains your energy and ideas. Practice, creative alignment map. 1. Vision, write your long-term creative vision. 2. Beliefs, identify 3 beliefs that support it. Replace 3 that don't. 3. Daily actions, choose 2 habits that reflect the creative life you want. 4. Environment, make 1 change to support your flow, e.g., declutter desk. 5. Community, reach out to someone who inspires your creativity. Review this map monthly. Update as you grow. You are not just a spark of inspiration. You are a fire that can burn brightly and steadily with the right fuel. Sustainable creativity is not about chasing endless novelty or waiting for divine flashes. It's about conscious, compassionate alignment with your deeper self. You now have the tools. Understanding the subconscious. Tapping into emotion. Navigating flow states. Building creative systems. And aligning it all with your vision. Your subconscious is your creative partner. When you honor it, train it, and listen to it, you become not just a creator, you become a vessel for something greater. Your breakthroughs are just beginning. Go create. The world needs what's inside you. Thanks for watching.